The day my brother-in-law destroyed my life, he did it with a smile. I watched him lean back in his leather chair, manicured fingers drumming against the mahogany desk that had belonged to my late father-in-law. I'm Ainsley, and until that moment, I'd spent 8 years building the Jordan family boutiques from a small local shop into a thriving chain across 3 states. My children were napping in their usual spot, the cozy corner of my office decorated with their artwork and stuffed animals, when Beau called me in for what he claimed was a routine meeting. "Let's cut to the chase," Beau said, adjusting his gold cufflinks. "We're restructuring and your position is being eliminated." The words hit like a physical blow. Eliminated? I built half these stores from the ground up. Come now, Ainsley. You helped with the decorating, sure, but let's not exaggerate your contribution. His condescending tone made my skin crawl. Since Mark's passing, we need to think about the future. Professional management, not family projects. My hands trembled as I gripped the chair. Mark wanted me to help run this company. He trusted me. "My brother's dead," Beau snapped, mask of civility cracking. "And his sentimental decisions aren't binding. You have until the end of the month to clear out your office. Oh, and the house too, it's company property." "The house? My children's home?" My voice cracked. "Where are we supposed to go?" "That's not my concern. I'm sure you'll figure something out." He turned to his computer, dismissing me. "Close the door on your way out." I stumbled back to my office, mind racing. Through the glass partition, I could see Tegan and Asher still sleeping peacefully. Tegan's dark curls spilled across her sketchbook. She'd been drawing designs for Mommy's stores again. Asher clutched his favourite stuffed elephant, the one Mark gave him before. "Ainsley?" Eleanor, my assistant and closest friend, appeared at my side. "What happened? You're white as a sheet." "He's throwing us out," I whispered. "The job, the house, everything." Eleanor's face hardened. "That snake, he can't do this." "He already has." I sank into my chair. "I have 3 weeks to find a new home and job." "Stay with me," Eleanor offered immediately. "My spare room's yours as long as you need." Before I could respond, Tegan stirred. "Mummy, why are you crying?" I quickly wiped my eyes. "Just a little tired, sweetheart. Hey, how about we pack up early today? We could get ice cream." As I gathered their things, Beau's voice carried through the office. "Brady, so glad you could make it. Let me show you the new plans." Brady King, his wealthy investor, followed Beau past my office. He caught my eye briefly, frowning at my obvious distress, but continued on. That evening, after getting the kids settled at Eleanor's, I returned to pack up my office. The building was silent except for the hum of the cleaning crew's vacuum. I carefully wrapped each of Tegan's drawings, every family photo, every memory of the business I'd helped build. My phone buzzed, a text from my sister Kim. "Just heard. I'm so sorry. Beau wouldn't listen to me. Call me." I couldn't. Not yet. Not when I was barely holding it together. The last item I packed was a framed photo of Mark and me at the opening of our 3rd store. His proud smile, his hand on my shoulder. "You're the creative heart of this place, Ains," he'd said that day. A sound at the door made me turn. Brady stood there, looking uncomfortable. "I heard what happened," he said. "Beau's making a mistake." I straightened my spine. "Thank you, but I'll be fine." "I'm sure you will." He handed me his business card. "When you figure out your next move, call me. Talent shouldn't go to waste." After he left, I stared at the empty office, my second home for nearly a decade, the corner where my children grew up, the walls that had witnessed countless victories and challenges. "Mommy!" Tegan's voice came through my phone speaker. "When are you coming back?" "Soon, baby. Just finishing up some work. Can you read me and Asher a story?" I clutched the phone tighter. "Of course! Let me grab my keys." Standing in the doorway one last time, something shifted inside me. Beau thought he was ending my story, but he was wrong. This wasn't an ending, it was a beginning. My children wouldn't grow up seeing their mother defeated. They would see her rise, stronger than ever. I flicked off the lights and walked away, Brady's card burning a hole in my pocket. Beau wanted a war? Fine, but he'd soon learn I wasn't the decorative little widow he could simply discard. Game on, brother-in-law. Game on. Mommy, look, I made it sparkly. Tegan twirled in the makeshift studio we'd created in Eleanor's garage, her sample dress now adorned with hand-painted glitter stars. 6 months had passed since Beau's betrayal, and my daughter's innocent creativity had become my unexpected salvation. What started as me altering her old clothes to save money had evolved into something more. "Those stars are perfect," I said, snapping a photo. "Want to help me paint more?" Eleanor burst through the door, waving her phone. "Ainsley, that mommy blogger I told you about, she just posted about Tegan's dress from last week. Her followers are going crazy." I grabbed the phone, scrolling through hundreds of comments. "Where can I buy this? My daughter needs this. Finally, something unique." "See?" Eleanor grinned. "I told you we were onto something. Kids' boutique fashion, but with that magical touch Tegan adds. It's genius." The doorbell rang, and Jacob Price, my former supplier from Jordan Family Boutiques, stepped into our cramped workspace. He surveyed the racks of hand-decorated children's clothes with an appraising eye. "When you called, I was skeptical," he admitted. "But this is different. Fresh." "Different enough to help us scale up?" I asked, heart pounding. He picked up one of Tegan's painted dresses. "With the right backing, absolutely. But you'll need capital." "Already working on that," I said, pulling out Brady's card. "He told me to call when I had a plan. Well, now I do." Eleanor squeezed my hand as I dialed. When Brady answered, his interest was immediate. "Send me your business proposal. And, Ainsley, make it bold." The next weeks were a blur. Brady's investment allowed us to rent a real workshop. Jacob connected us with ethical manufacturers. Eleanor managed our growing social media presence while I designed. But it wasn't all smooth sailing. "Mom," Asher called one night, holding up my phone. "Aunt Kim's calling again." I took the phone, bracing myself. "Kim?" "Beau's furious," she said without preamble. "He saw your Instagram. Says you're stealing his market." I laughed bitterly. "His market? He kicked me out, remember?" "I know, She sighed. "Be careful, okay? He's making calls, trying to pressure your suppliers." "Let him try. I've got better allies now." After hanging up, I found Tegan and Asher colouring at their homework table in the workshop. "Who wants pizza? Can we eat in the sparkle corner?" Asher asked, referring to the area where we decorated clothes. "Only if you promise not to spill on the new shipment." Eleanor joined us, laptop in hand. "Speaking of new shipments, our holiday collection just sold out. In 2 hours." "What?" I nearly dropped the pizza. "The whole collection. Every piece. And that's not all." She turned the screen toward me. "Remember that boutique in Miami you loved? They want to carry our line." Tears pricked my eyes as I remembered Beau's words. "Let's not exaggerate your contribution." The next morning, Brady visited our workshop. He watched Tegan demonstrate her glitter technique to our new design assistant while I showed him the numbers. "Impressive," he said. "Very impressive. You know, Beau called me last week." I stiffened. "Oh?" "Wanted me to pull my investment. Said you were..." He chuckled. "What was the phrase? Amateur hour with glitter. And I told him I prefer to back winners." Brady gestured around the bustling workshop. "This is just the beginning, Ainsley. Your brand has heart. That's rare." Later that night, after the kids were asleep in our new apartment above the workshop, Eleanor and I sat surrounded by design sketches. "We need a name," she said. "Something that captures the magic." I picked up one of Tegan's drawings, a dress covered in stars with "For Mommy" scrawled across the top. "What about Starlight and Stories? Because every piece tells a story?" "Perfect." Eleanor raised her wine glass. "To Starlight and Stories, and to proving that amateur hour can kick professional butt." My phone buzzed with an email notification. Another major boutique wanted to schedule a meeting. Below it was a text from Kim. "Beau's losing it. His numbers are down. Karma's real, sis." I smiled, thinking of the empty office where Beau had dismissed me. Now I had my own office, filled with children's laughter and creativity. My kids weren't just surviving, they were thriving, watching their mother build something beautiful from nothing. "Hey," Eleanor said softly, "where'd you go just now?" "Just thinking about how sometimes the worst endings lead to the best beginnings." She clinked her glass against mine. "And we're just getting started." Looking at our workshop below, glittering with possibility, I knew she was right. This wasn't just about revenge anymore. It was about creating something meaningful, something that would make my children proud. And if it happened to drive Bo crazy in the process, well, that was just a glittery bonus. The gold-embossed envelope arrived on a Tuesday morning, just as I was helping Tegan pick out her outfit for career day at school. "I'm wearing Starlight and Stories, Mommy," she declared, twirling in one of our newest designs, "because I'm going to be a fashion designer like you." Eleanor appeared in the doorway, holding the envelope like it might bite. "This just came by courier." I recognized the Jordan family crest immediately. 2 years had passed since Bo kicked us out, and now here was his fancy invitation, demanding attention just like its sender. "What is it?" Asher peered around Eleanor's leg. "Your Uncle Bo is hosting a family reunion," I read aloud, my voice steady despite my racing heart. "At the Mountain View Resort. The whole family?" Tegan's eyes lit up. "Even Aunt Kim?" "Yes, Princess. Everyone." Eleanor waited until the kids left for school before pouncing. "You're not seriously considering going, are you?" "Kim's been begging me to visit," I said, turning the invitation over in my hands. "And the kids miss their cousins." "It's a trap," Eleanor declared, pacing our office. "Bo's up to something. Why else host a reunion now?" My phone buzzed, Brady calling. "Have you seen the business news?" he asked without preamble. I pulled up the article he texted. "Jordan Family Boutique seeking new investment partners." My eyes widened at the details. "Bo's empire is crumbling," Brady said. "Your success with Starlight and Stories hit him harder than anyone expected. He's lost 3 major investors in the last month. So the reunion is damage control. He needs to show a united family front to attract new investors." Brady paused. "He needs you, Ainsley. Your brand is worth more than his now." After hanging up, I found Eleanor stress-organizing fabric swatches. "Brady thinks Bo's desperate," I told her. "Perfect! Send your regrets. Let him sweat." But before I could respond, Kim called. "Please come," she begged. "Bo's being impossible. The kids ask about Tegan and Asher constantly. And—" she lowered her voice. "Things aren't good here, Ains. I could use my sister." That evening, during our weekly pizza and movie night, I watched my children laugh at the screen. They deserved to know their family, despite Bo's actions. "Hey, Munchkins," I said during a quiet moment. "How would you feel about seeing your cousins next weekend?" Their excited squeals drowned out the movie. The next morning, Jacob visited with our latest sales reports. "The Miami boutiques want to double their orders," he said, then noticed the invitation on my desk. "Ah, you got one too?" "Two. You're invited?" He nodded. "Bo's inviting everyone who matters in the industry. It's quite transparent, really." "What would you do?" Jacob leaned back, thoughtful. "I'd go, show strength. But Ainsley," his eyes twinkled, "I'd wear your best design." That afternoon, while the kids did homework in the workshop, Eleanor helped me draft the RSVP. "If we're doing this," she said, "we're doing it right. We'll need new pieces for you and the kids. Something that screams success but whispers class." "Already sketching," I said, showing her my notebook. "Remember that midnight blue fabric we've been saving? We worked late into the night creating the perfect outfits. Tegan insisted on adding her signature stars to her dress, tiny, elegant ones that caught the light. A week later, Kim called again. "Bo's micromanaging everything," she sighed. "He's invited half the fashion industry. It's not even a family reunion anymore. It's a networking event. How are you holding up?" "Honestly, I miss my sister. I miss who we all used to be." After we hung up, I found Asher studying the old family photo on my desk. "Mom, is Uncle Bo still mad at us?" I sat beside him. "Sometimes grown-ups make mistakes when they're scared or angry, but that doesn't mean we have to stay angry back." "Is that why we're going? To not be angry?" "We're going because family is complicated but important, and because sometimes being strong means showing up, even when it's hard." That night, I lay awake, remembering the day Bo threw us out. I'd been broken then, terrified. Now I ran a successful company. My children were happy. We'd not just survived, we'd flourished. My phone lit up with a text from Brady. Just heard from another Jordan investor. They're jumping ship. Bo's going to be desperate at this reunion. Watch your back. Eleanor's words from earlier echoed in my head. It's a trap. Maybe it was. But as I thought about Kim's plea, my children's excitement, and, yes, the delicious irony of Bo needing me now, I knew we had to go. I pulled out my sketch pad and started designing. If Bo wanted to make this reunion a show of power, I'd give him exactly that. But this time, I'd be the one writing the script. Let the games begin, brother-in-law. Let the games begin. Mountain View Resort loomed before us, all glass and stone against the autumn sky. I adjusted Tegan's star-studded midnight blue dress, a perfect match to mine, while Asher tugged at his coordinating bow tie. "Ready?" I asked my children, trying to sound more confident than I felt. "Ready," they chorused, but Asher grabbed my hand tight as we walked through the grand entrance. The reunion was in full swing, the ballroom buzzing with familiar faces and industry bigwigs. I spotted Jacob near the bar, raising his glass in silent support. Several boutique owners who carried our line broke into whispers as we passed. "Ainsley!" Kim rushed forward, wrapping me in a fierce hug. "You look amazing." She pulled back, tears in her eyes. "And look at my gorgeous niece and nephew." While the kids reunited with their cousins, Kim linked her arm through mine. "Bo's been watching the door like a hawk. He's by the investors' table with Brady." "Brady's here already?" "Hasn't left Bo's side. Though from Bo's expression, the conversation isn't going well." I caught Bo's eye across the room. His practiced smile faltered as he took in my appearance, his gaze lingering on the small but distinctive Starlight and Stories logo on my clutch. "Mommy!" Tegan called. "Everyone's asking about my dress." Sure enough, a group of women had gathered around my daughter, admiring the delicate starwork on her outfit. I recognized several as buyers from major department stores. "Your daughter's wearing one of your designs?" one asked. "It's exquisite." "Our holiday collection launches next week," I said smoothly. "I'd love to show you the lookbook." Bo appeared at my elbow, his cologne too strong, his smile too wide. "Ainsley, so glad you could make it." "Bo," I kept my voice pleasant. "Lovely party." "We need to talk," he murmured, but before he could continue, Brady approached. "Ainsley, that must be the famous Tegan I've heard so much about." Brady knelt to my daughter's level. "I love your stars. Did you help design this dress?" Tegan nodded enthusiastically. "I helped with all the dresses. Want to see my sketchbook?" While Tegan charmed Brady, I circulated the room. Everywhere I heard whispers about Starlight and Stories' meteoric rise. Several guests wore our designs, including Kim's daughter. "Your sister-in-law's quite the success story," I overheard one investor tell Bo. "Remarkable recovery after, well," Bo's face reddened. "Yes, well, family has always been our strength at Jordan Boutiques." "Really?" Brady's voice cut in. I heard differently. Bo's forced laugh couldn't hide his panic as Brady walked away. During dinner, I sat with Kim, watching Tegan and Asher play with their cousins. "How bad is it?" I asked quietly. Kim glanced at Bo, who was desperately trying to engage a disinterested investor. "Bad. He gambled big on some luxury developments. When they failed..." "Mrs. Webb?" A hotel staff member appeared. "Mr. King would like a word in the garden terrace." Outside, Brady stood examining a rose bush. "Your timing is impeccable," he said. "Bo's about to ask for your help." "What?" "He needs a merger. Your brand success, your industry goodwill. It could save Jordan Boutiques." Brady smiled. "The question is, what will you do with that power?" Before I could respond, Asher found me. "Mom, Uncle Bo made Tegan cry." I rushed inside to find my daughter sniffling while Kim berated her husband. "All I said," Bo defended, "was that her little stars were fine for children's games, but real fashion." "Real fashion," I cut in, my voice sharp. "Our little stars outsold your entire summer collection." The room fell silent. Perhaps, Bo said tightly, we should discuss this privately. In my office. No. I lifted Tegan onto my hip. We're done with private discussions in your office. Ainsley, be reasonable. We're family. Family? I laughed. Now we're family? Where was family when you threw us out? That was business, he hissed. And how's business now, Bo? His face contorted. Around us, investors and industry players watched the drama unfold, no doubt mentally calculating the value of their Jordan Boutiques stock. Mum? Asher tugged my dress. Can we go home? Not yet, sweetheart. I faced Bo. You wanted to talk? Let's talk. Tomorrow, my office, 9 a.m. Bring your proposal. Your office? He practically spat the words. Yes, the one above my successful workshop, in my thriving business. I smiled sweetly. You know, the amateur hour with glitter you were so worried about? Kim stifled a laugh. Brady didn't bother hiding his. As we left the ballroom, I heard the whispers follow us, but this time they weren't about the fallen widow with 2 kids. They were about the woman who'd built an empire from scratch. Mom? Tegan asked as we reached our car. Did we win? I buckled her in, thinking of Bo's face, of tomorrow's meeting, of the long game still ahead. No, baby, but we're about to. Bo arrived at 9:15, his Italian suit unable to hide the tension in his shoulders. Eleanor met him at reception, making him wait another 10 minutes before leading him to my office. I'd chosen my position carefully, standing at the window overlooking our workshop, where our team was preparing the holiday collection. The sound of laughter and music drifted up from below. Quite an operation you've built, Bo said, trying to sound casual. Let's skip the small talk. I turned to face him. You need something from me. What is it? He placed a folder on my desk. A merger. Equal partnership. Jordan Family Boutiques and Starlight and Stories together again. Equal? I raised an eyebrow. Last I checked, my company was worth 3 times yours. His jaw tightened. The Jordan name still carries weight. The Jordan name is drowning in debt. Brady showed me the numbers. Before Bo could respond, Eleanor buzzed in. Kim's here. Should I send her up? Bo's face reddened. You invited my wife? No, Kim said from the doorway. I invited myself. She walked in, looking more confident than I'd seen her in years. Someone needs to witness this conversation. Kim, go home, Bo snapped. Like you sent Ainsley home 2 years ago? Kim settled into a chair. I don't think so. I opened Bo's proposal, scanning the terms. This is insulting. You want my company's resources but maintain majority control? It's a fair offer. It's desperation, I cut in. Your investors are leaving. Brady's pulling out next week. You need my success to save your failure. Bo slammed his hand on the desk. I built that company. No, Kim said quietly. Dad built it. Mark expanded it. Ainsley grew it. You just inherited it. And nearly destroyed it, I added. Fine, Bo threw up his hands. What do you want? Name your terms. I pulled out my own folder. Complete restructuring. Starlight and Stories remains independent, but acquires controlling interest in Jordan Boutiques. You step down as CEO. That's ridiculous. That's business, I smiled. Isn't that what you taught me? Kim leaned forward. Bo listened to her. This is the best option we have. We? He turned on her. Whose side are you on? The side that keeps our family's legacy alive. Kim's voice hardened. The side that doesn't end with bankruptcy. A knock at the door interrupted us. Eleanor entered with Tegan and Asher. Sorry, she said, not looking sorry at all. They just finished their morning design session. They wanted to show their mom their new ideas. Tegan bounded over, her sketchbook open. Mom, look what I designed. I examined her drawing. A sophisticated take on our signature star pattern, worked into a formal dress design. It was surprisingly good. That's actually innovative, Bo said, surprise evident in his voice. She has her mother's eye, Kim said pointedly. Asher approached his uncle cautiously. We made something for you two. He held out a small gift bag. Bo opened it, pulling out a handmade tie with tiny, elegant stars embroidered along the bottom. You made this? Mom helped, Asha said. She says we shouldn't stay angry even when people make mistakes. The room fell silent. Bo stared at the tie, his hands trembling slightly. The children's workshop downstairs, I said softly. It's not just for show. We teach kids to design, to create, to believe in themselves. I met his eyes. That's what real legacy looks like, Bo. He sat heavily in a chair, the tie still in his hands. I was wrong, he whispered. 2 years ago. About everything. Yes, you were. The merger terms, he said after a moment. Can we discuss the leadership structure? You can stay on as creative director, I offered. Under new management. Kim touched his arm. It's a good deal, Bo. Better than we deserve. He looked around my office at the wall of magazine covers featuring our designs, at the children's corner filled with artwork, at the thriving workshop below. Okay, he said finally. You win, Ainsley. No, Bo. I handed him a pen. We all win. That's what family should be about. After the papers were signed and Kim had led a subdued Bo out, Eleanor poured us both a drink. You did it, she said. You actually did it. We did it, I corrected, hugging my children close. All of us. Tegan looked up from her sketching. Does this mean we can visit Aunt Kim more? Yes, baby. And maybe we can help Uncle Bo learn to add a little sparkle to his life. Speaking of sparkle, Eleanor grinned, wait until you see tomorrow's sales figures. That little drama at the reunion? Our orders have tripled. I laughed, watching my children return to their designs, their futures brighter than any stars we could sow. Sometimes the best revenge isn't revenge at all. Sometimes it's showing others a better way to shine. Are you absolutely sure about this? Eleanor paced my office, waving the latest proposal from Brady. Expanding into Europe is huge. Maybe we should wait until the Jordan merger settles. I was about to respond when Jacob burst in, grinning. You won't believe who I just saw skulking around the workshop. Bo? I guessed. Watching the children's design class like a hawk, even took notes. 3 weeks had passed since the merger, and Bo's transformation had been unexpected. He'd shown up every day, quietly observing, learning, asking questions without his usual arrogance. Mom! Tegan rushed in. Uncle Bo helped me with my sketches, look. She thrust forward her notebook. The design was surprisingly good, her usual whimsy tempered with practical details I recognized from Bo's style. He said we could try it for the spring collection, she beamed. Eleanor raised an eyebrow. Bo? Suggesting children's designs? People can change, I said, just as my phone buzzed with a text from Kim. He's different. Thank you. Jacob cleared his throat. Speaking of change, Brady's waiting downstairs. Says it's time to decide about Europe. I found Brady in our showroom, examining our newest pieces. Bo was there too, explaining the construction of a particularly intricate dress to a group of design students. The stars aren't just decoration, Bo was saying. They're part of the structure. My niece taught me that. Brady smiled as I approached. Quite a change from amateur hour with glitter, isn't it? The merger's working better than expected, I admitted. Which is why we need to move now. Brady gestured to the papers in his hand. European buyers are hungry for something fresh. Your brand tells a story they want to hear. It's not just my brand anymore, I said, watching Bo demonstrate a stitching technique. That's exactly why it'll work. Brady lowered his voice. Bo knows the business side. You have the vision. Together, you could be global. Before I could respond, Asha came running in. Mom, look what Uncle Bo helped me make. He proudly displayed a small bow tie, decorated with tiny embroidered stars. The craftsmanship was impeccable. He said I could teach the other kids how to make them, Asha added excitedly. Bo approached, looking almost shy. If that's okay with you, of course. Teaching suits you, I said. Learning suits me better. He straightened his tie, the one Asha had given him. I've been thinking about the European expansion. Brady tensed, but Bo continued. We should start with children's design workshops. Build community first, then introduce the brand. Do it right, not just fast. I stared at him. That's actually brilliant. I learned from the best, He nodded toward the workshop where Tegan was showing other kids her design techniques. Sometimes the smallest stars shine the brightest. Eleanor appeared with fresh market reports. Paris is calling again. They want to know about the workshop program. Tell them yes, I said, but with a twist. We'll bring our young designers with us. A children's fashion tour? Brady looked skeptical. A family tour, I corrected, showing Europe how American kids are revolutionizing fashion. Beau's eyes lit up. The press will love it, but more importantly, the children will learn something valuable. Speaking of valuable lessons, Kim said, entering with a stack of magazines, look who made the cover of Fashion Forward. The cover showed Tegan and Asher in their workshop, surrounded by other children all creating designs. The headline read, "The Future of Fashion, How One Family's Story Changed an Industry." They interviewed me, Beau said quietly, asked about my biggest mistake and greatest lesson. And, I prompted, I told them the truth, that I let pride blind me to real innovation, that my 8-year-old niece understands fashion better than I did as CEO. Brady chuckled. Now that's a story worth investing in. He pulled out his phone. I'm calling London. This needs to happen now. As Brady made calls and Eleanor coordinated details, I watched Beau sit with the children, patiently teaching them about fabric and form. Kim joined them, adding her own expertise about colour theory. Mom, Tegan tugged my sleeve, can we really go to Paris? Yes, baby, we're going to show them how to make the world a little more sparkly. With Uncle Beau? With the whole family. Jacob appeared at my side. You know, when you first started this, I thought it was about revenge. So did I admitted. But sometimes the best victories aren't about winning or losing. They're about transforming, Beau added, overhearing as he helped Asher with a design. About learning to see the stars instead of the darkness. Looking around at my expanded family, Eleanor organising, Brady planning, Kim teaching, Beau learning, and my children shining, I realised we'd built something far more valuable than revenge. We'd built a constellation of second chances, all of us learning to sparkle in our own way. The Paris Fashion Week crowd fell silent as Tegan stepped onto the runway, leading a parade of young designers wearing their own creations. My daughter's midnight blue dress sparkled under the lights, each star catching and throwing back the glow like tiny mirrors. They love it, Eleanor whispered beside me. Look at their faces. She was right. The usually stoic fashion elite was smiling, phones raised to capture the moment. In the front row, Brady sat with a group of European investors, all nodding approvingly. Then I saw him, Marcus Vail, the notoriously brutal fashion critic, scribbling furiously in his notebook. My stomach clenched. Beau appeared at my shoulder. Don't worry about Marcus, watch this. Asher walked out next, wearing a perfectly tailored suit with star-studded lapels. He carried a small tablet projecting his design sketches onto the massive screen behind him. The audience gasped as his childish drawings transformed into sophisticated designs before their eyes. Your idea? I asked Beau. The technology, yes. The creativity? He smiled. All him. The show continued, each child showcasing not just clothes, but the story behind them. When Tegan returned for the finale, she didn't just walk, she twirled, stopped, and began teaching the audience her signature star pattern. And now, she announced in careful French, everyone can make their own magic. The crowd erupted. Even Marcus Vail was standing, applauding. Backstage after the show, chaos erupted. Buyers pushed forward with contracts, journalists shouted questions, and photographers' flashes created a storm of light. Madam Webb, Marcus Vail approached, his accent thick. Your children's workshop program, brilliant. But tell me, why start with Paris? Before I could answer, Beau stepped forward. Because Paris knows true innovation when they see it. Right, Marcus. Marcus's eyes narrowed. Ah, Monsieur Jordan, last time we met you said children's fashion was beneath you. I was wrong about many things, Beau said, straightening Asher's bow tie. My nephew here taught me that. Uncle Beau, Tegan called. The French kids want to learn the star pattern. A group of well-dressed children had gathered around Tegan, their parents, prominent fashion houses representatives. watching with interest. Go, I told Bo. They need you. As Bo joined the impromptu workshop, Brady approached with the investors. They want to fast-track the expansion, not just Paris, Milan, London, Barcelona. All of them? Eleanor's eyes widened. With one condition, Brady said. They want the workshop program as part of the deal, in every location. Kim appeared, phone in hand. Social media is exploding. Zara Starlight Kids is trending worldwide. Suddenly, Marcus Vale's voice cut through the chaos. Incredible! Who taught you this technique? We turned to see the famous critic on his knees beside Tegan, carefully adding stars to a piece of fabric. My mom invented it, Tegan said proudly, but Uncle Bo helped make it better. Marcus looked up at me. This collaboration between you and your brother-in-law, it wasn't always so amicable, no? The room quieted. Even the children sensed the tension. Bo stood facing the crowd. I made a terrible mistake 2 years ago. I let pride and fear drive away the very innovation our family needed. He met my eyes. But Ainsley taught me that true strength isn't in controlling everything. It's in letting others shine. And now, Marcus pressed. Now. Bo smiled as Asher showed a French boy how to properly knot his star-patterned tie. Now we're building something bigger than ourselves. We're building a family, Tegan announced, making everyone laugh. Later that evening, during the celebration dinner, Eleanor raised her glass. To the most successful Paris debut in recent history. To family, Kim added, squeezing Bo's hand. To second chances, Bo said quietly. Brady cleared his throat. Actually, I have one more surprise. He slid a document across the table. The European Fashion Council wants Starlight and Stories to head their new youth initiative. All expenses paid, full creative control. I stared at the proposal. This is a game changer, Brady finished. They want to implement your workshop program in schools across Europe. But that would mean moving to Paris, Eleanor said. At least temporarily. I looked at my children happily teaching their new French friends at the next table. They were already at home here, already growing in ways I never imagined. What do you think? I asked Bo. Can you handle the US operations? With Kim's help? He nodded. We've got it covered. This is your moment, Ainsley. Take it. As if on cue, Tegan ran over. Mum, can we show them the midnight collection tomorrow, please? I pulled her close, breathing in the sweet smell of her hair mixed with Paris air. 2 years ago, I'd been broken, homeless, scared. Now I was being offered the chance to change children's lives across Europe. Yes, I said, watching my daughter's face light up like her beloved stars. We can show them everything. Because sometimes the best revenge isn't revenge at all. Sometimes it's building something so beautiful that the past becomes nothing more than the foundation for a brighter future. Hold still, Uncle Bo. Tegan adjusted his bow tie, her latest design, featuring a constellation pattern that seemed to move in the light. Perfect. The grand reopening of the original Jordan family boutique had drawn quite a crowd. Through the window, I could see fashion reporters mingling with local families, all waiting for the doors to open. Ready? I asked Bo, who was fidgeting with his cufflinks. Almost. He pulled an envelope from his pocket. I need you to see this first. Inside was a deed to my old family home, the one he'd forced us to leave. I'm signing it over to you, he said. It should have been yours all along. Bo, please, let me make this right. Before I could respond, Eleanor burst in. They're getting restless out there, and wait until you see what the kids have done. We followed her to the main floor where Asher stood proudly beside a new display. The wall behind the counter had been transformed into a massive star map, each constellation marking a milestone in our journey. The largest star bore the words, "Family is forever," in Tegan's handwriting. The children from the workshop helped, Asher explained. Everyone added their own star. Kim appeared, carrying a vintage dress we'd found in storage. Remember this? From the first store? Your father's design, Bo said softly. We should display it. Already planned for that, Eleanor announced, revealing a special case. Right between Tegan's first dress and Asher's bow tie collection. Brady slipped in through the back door. The European representatives are here, and you won't believe who else showed up. Marcus Vale strode in, now wearing one of our signature ties. I wouldn't miss this for the world. The story of fashion's greatest comeback deserves proper documentation. It's not a comeback, I corrected. It's a new beginning. The children from our workshop program began arriving, each wearing their own designs. French, Italian, American, all mixing together, sharing techniques and dreams. "Mom," Tegan called, "can we do the ribbon cutting? All of us together?" I looked at Beau, who nodded. "It's your show now." "No," I said, taking the scissors. "It's our show. Family, remember?" We gathered at the entrance. Me, Beau, Kim, the kids, Eleanor, Brady, and all our young designers. The crowd pressed closer as Tegan spoke into the microphone. "Welcome to the new Jordan and Starlight Family Boutique," she announced, "where everyone's stars can shine." As we cut the ribbon together, I caught Beau wiping his eyes. "Allergies," he muttered. "Sure," Kim laughed. "Nothing to do with pride or joy or anything like that." The crowd poured in, but what touched me most was watching the children lead tours, explaining designs with professional confidence. Asher showed off his new boys' collection, while Tegan taught star-stitching at a special demonstration table. "You've created something extraordinary," Marcus said, scribbling in his notebook. "Not just fashion. You've created hope." "We all did," I replied, watching Beau patiently teach a young boy how to measure fabric. "Sometimes it takes losing everything to find what matters." Eleanor appeared with news from our Paris office. The school program was expanding to 20 new locations. Brady followed with contracts from 3 major department stores. But the real moment came later, after the crowds thinned. Beau gathered everyone in the workshop area, clearing his throat nervously. "I've been thinking," he said, "about legacy and family and stars." He revealed a sketch, a design that combined his classic style with Tegan's stars. "Maybe it's time for an adult line. If my niece will teach me." Tegan threw her arms around him. "First lesson starts now." As they bent over the design table together, Kim squeezed my hand. "Look at them. Who'd have thought?" I fingered the house deed in my pocket. "People can surprise you." "Speaking of surprises," Eleanor cut in, "wait until you see next month's Fashion Forward. They're calling us the future of inclusive fashion education." "That's nice," Asher said seriously, "but can we have pizza in the workshop like old times?" Everyone laughed, and soon we were all sitting cross-legged on the floor, sharing pizza and dreams. The children taught Beau their secret handshake. Kim and Eleanor planned the next collection. Brady and Marcus debated fashion trends. Looking around at my expanded family, blood and chosen alike, I realized something. Success wasn't in proving Beau wrong. It wasn't in the contracts or magazine covers or global expansion. It was in this moment, watching my brother-in-law learn from my daughter. It was in the way Asher's eyes lit up when someone wore his designs. It was in the laughter and love filling this space that had once seen so much pain. "Mom," Tegan called, "Uncle Beau needs help with the star pattern." "Coming, baby." I joined them at the table, showing Beau the technique I'd created during those dark days after he'd thrown us out. "I was such a fool," he whispered. "No," I corrected, guiding his hands. "You were just looking at the darkness. Now you see the stars." And in that moment, surrounded by family and future, I knew we'd all found our light.